Watching your team get the first pick in the draft is a moment to be celebrated. The right choice can turn a franchise around and reignite hope for both the fans and front office. But landing that number one spot is only half the battle. Now comes the hard part, making the right choice. Statistically speaking, NBA franchises aren't great at this. In the last 30 years, only 7 number one draft picks have ever won a championship. And of those 7, half won it for a different team than the one that drafted them. Despite this, though, teams still prioritize a good position in the draft, sometimes even at the cost of their regular season, all in hopes of getting that special first overall pick. Without wasting any more time, here are some of the greatest first overall draft picks in NBA history. Up first, we've got the backboard-shattering big man who dominated the paint and gave defenders nightmares through the 90s, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq earned himself a spot as the number one pick in the 1992 class after an impressive college career at LSU. Having been named a 2-time All-American, 2-time SEC Player of the Year, and the NCAA's 1991 Player of the Year, the Long Island native was all NBA scouts talked about. After just 3 years in Louisiana, Shaq decided it was time to take his talents to the league, and the 7'1" center's impact was immediate. Drafted first overall by the Orlando Magic, he became the first player to win Player of the Week in his first week in the league, and was eventually named Rookie of the Year, averaging 23.4 points on 56.2% shooting. Shaq was also the first player since Michael Jordan to start in an All-Star game as a rookie, and by the time he retired in 2011, the center made 15 All-Star appearances, with 8 as a starter, and took home 3 All-Star Game MVP awards. Diesel finished his career as a 4-time NBA champion, having led the Lakers to their iconic early 2000s three-peat, picking up that Finals MVP trophy on each occasion. Anybody who's seen Shaq play knows just how dominant he was. He ranks 3rd all-time in field goal percentage, and in 2016 was selected for the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. From individual accolades to team trophies, Shaq won it all. His style of play and determination to succeed earned the center league-wide respect from both rookies and veterans alike. From an untested but hyped youngster to one of the league's most accomplished players, Shaq has earned himself a spot as one of the greatest first overall picks in NBA history. Another player familiar with the hype and pressure of going first overall is LeBron James, quite possibly the greatest player to ever lace up on an NBA court. Drafted number 1 by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2003, LeBron, who had only just graduated high school, wasted no time showing the league what he was capable of. He scored 25 points in his game debut, setting an NBA record in the process. And after a standout regular season, James was named Rookie of the Year, becoming the first Cavalier to win the award in the franchise's history. He took Cleveland to their first playoff appearance in almost a decade and helped the struggling team reach their first ever NBA Finals just a few years after he was drafted. 2 decades later, and James has made 10 NBA Finals appearances, winning 4 and being named Finals MVP during each one of those victories. He is a 4-time league MVP, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and has been selected as an All-Star 19 times, tying the most All-Star appearances record. He has been named for the All-NBA defensive team on 6 different occasions, and as of 2023, James is the only player from the 2003 draft class to still play in the league. There's a reason he's called King James. LeBron is easily one of the, if not the greatest number 1 overall pick in NBA history. He's won every trophy, broken more records than we can count, and, unlike most of the players on this list, Bron is still adding to his already impressive list of NBA achievements. He is the all-time leading points scorer in league history, the first active NBA player to have earned $1 billion, and even got to star in the Space Jam's remake. What more can we really say? But game-changing first picks are nothing new in the NBA. Before you had your LeBrons and your O'Neals putting franchises on their backs and breaking every record in sight, a young kid from Michigan was busy spearheading his own dynasty and redefining what a first overall pick could do. Earvin Magic Johnson is thought by many to be the greatest point guard to have ever played the game. Drafted first by the Los Angeles Lakers in 1979, Magic had earned his draft position after a stellar collegiate career. Leading Michigan State to the NCAA Finals, his game against future rival Larry Bird and Indiana State is still the most watched college basketball game ever. Johnson played hard and earned himself the Most Outstanding Player award as well as the dub for Michigan. After just 2 years with the Spartans, Johnson decided to take his magic to the NBA. His impact on the team was immediate, helping the Lakers reach the finals in just his rookie season. There, he put on a masterclass that shocked the league, with the rookie dominating despite playing out of position. LA needed just one more win, but with team leader Abdul-Jabbar set to miss the game due to an injury, things looked doubtful for the Lakers. But that's when Johnson stepped up. The rookie was made to play center, guard, and forward at different times of the same game and put up 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals to help LA win. For his heroics, the rookie was awarded Finals MVP and became one of 4 players to win the NCAA trophy and NBA Finals trophy in consecutive years. He is still the only rookie to win Finals MVP. By the time he retired in 2000, he was a 5-time NBA champion, 3-time league MVP, and the recipient of 3 Finals MVP trophies. He led the league in assists on 4 separate occasions and made 12 All-Star appearances, and won gold with Team USA in 1992. It's no surprise then that Magic was eventually inducted into the Hall of Fame, and his legacy as one of the most impactful #1 picks still stands to this day. But while Johnson was easily the best pick in his draft year, other classes have had a much harder time deciding on who should go #1. The class of 1984 had that problem. Stacked with talent, the 1984 draft saw players like John Stockton, Charles Barkley, and Michael Jordan all declare themselves ready to play, and teams were spoiled for choice. Despite this, though, one player stood out, the Nigerian giant Hakeem Olajuwon. Born in Lagos, Hakeem had shown the league what he was capable of during his time with the University of Houston. He eventually won the 1983 NCAA Most Outstanding Player Award, and after being named a consensus first-team All-American, Olajuwon decided to declare early for the draft. With the first pick in the draft, Houston chose their hometown hero, and the 7-foot center got straight to work. Hakeem led the Rockets to their first NBA championship in 1994, repeating the feat a year later, turning Houston into back-to-back winners at a time when the Michael Jordan-led Bulls looked unstoppable. He was a league leader in rebounds 2 times during his career, and his large frame allowed him to record more blocks than any other player throughout the 90s. He became the first non-American to be selected for and start in an All-Star game, as well as the first non-American to win League MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. In 1994, Hakeem became the first player ever to win the League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Finals MVP all in the same season. The former first overall pick would retire as the league's all-time leading shot blocker and as one of the few NBA talents to have recorded a quadruple double. A Hall of Fame inductee, Olajuwon proved to be a top-tier talent worthy of that first overall spot despite such a stacked set of underclassmen. But a player who never needed to prove his draft position was San Antonio big man and Mr. Fundamentals himself, Tim Duncan. Duncan was drafted at the #1 spot by the Spurs in 1997 and quickly became the highlight of that draft class. Widely considered one of the greatest power forwards of all time, Duncan spent 19 years in the league lighting up defenders with his reliable point scoring and giving attacking players nightmares with his relentless defensive abilities. Duncan was instrumental in the Spurs' 2000s and 2010s dynasty, winning 5 rings over 3 decades in San Antonio. 3 times he was voted Finals MVP and won 2 NBA regular season MVP trophies. A dominant force on both ends of the court, Duncan is still the only player to be selected to both the All-NBA and All-Defensive teams for 13 consecutive seasons. The 15-time All-Star won Rookie of the Year in '98 and shortly after that helped the Spurs win their first ever NBA championship in '99. His calm demeanor, unselfish style of play, and focus on the fundamentals would eventually put Duncan at #2 in all-time career wins, and San Antonio retired his #21 jersey. Tim Duncan was a standout star who refused to stand out. He didn't let the title of first overall get in his head, and from year 1 to 19, Duncan worked on his game, improved where he could, and led his team on to becoming one of the greatest dynasties the NBA has ever seen. In a league where nothing is guaranteed, the title of first overall somehow continues to be an impactful and sought-after position that GMs, coaches, and fans all push to acquire. But the numbers don't lie. With a 63% chance of drafting an All-Star, the first-class appeal of the number 1 spot isn't likely to go away anytime soon. For every generational talent drafted at the number 1 spot, 5 bust, float around the league gathering dust, and eventually retire with little to no fanfare. Check out who becomes a bust in this next video.